for Heroes of Hampton Roads with another episode of what people are doing in Hampton Roads to make an impact on the community. And I call them heroes because a lot of times they're doing things that people don't know about, but they're still making a big impact. And today I have the privilege of bringing you Wayne Anderson from the Virginia Patriot Guard. Something that I'm sorry to say I'm just learning about, but they're making a huge impact on the community, and I want you to know about it. So, Wayne, thank you for coming, and please tell us, what does the Virginia Patriot Guard do?
So the Virginia Patriot Guard, we are a group of volunteers who have a unwavering support for the military and our first responders. So we are called upon to provide escorts for funeral services and stand flag lines um, for our heroes. And then we also then work with the Gold Star families and other military or first responder events.
All right. Well, that sounds like a wonderful mission. People, of course, love what our military and first responders do to protect us and to provide the kind of quality of life that we have here in the United States. So, exactly how do you carry that out?
So we have a network that we will get notified from family members, church, funeral homes, or commands of like the passing of one of their um, heroes. So we'll get notified that they would like us to attend. Back in when we first started, we would attend to shield the families when and if some protesters would show up. They were doing that back in the day. They haven't been around in a while because we, with the media, helped to ignore them out of existence. So now we're just called upon to uh, um, to help to help and honor the hero. So we will work out an escort either like we'll do a dignified transfer if someone's coming from out of town at the airport. We work very closely with Chief Huffman at the Norfolk International Airport, and we'll do a transfer from there to the funeral home, and then from the funeral home we'll take the hero sometimes to the church service or to the cemetery. We'll escort the families from their home to the church service. Um, so we just kind of do that with the escorts. We used to, we also Patriot Guard riders, but you don't have to have a motorcycle to join. That's very important. We tell people that you don't need a motorcycle to join because most of our missions are just standing a silent flag line in honor of the hero. So, so
Okay.
we average about 90 missions a year, and that's between funerals and Gold Star events, deployment, welcome home ceremony. So we stay pretty active and busy. We actually have a decommissioning ceremony tomorrow. We have a funeral tomorrow, and we have a event over on Eastern Shore for the first responders of Northampton County. So we've got three events right in a row, keeping everybody busy.
Wow. So this is like a huge honor guard in a sense for these fallen heroes. And a lot of the people who participate with your group are riding motorcycles. Is that correct?
That's true. Most of the members do ride motorcycles, but it's not required. Most of our members are veterans. I am not a veteran, um, but so we kind of have all walks of life who are the volunteers. It's just the one requirement is just having the basic respect for the military and first responders.
Okay, so men and women can join, and they don't have to ride a
Children,
motorcycle.
yeah,
But if they do, they're welcome to be part of the motorcycle brigade or whatever you call
escort.
it,
Yeah.
escort that takes them from the airport to home or to the funeral home or whatever like that. Well, that's quite an honor. That's usually the kind of thing that's only reserved for very special VIP kind of funerals, isn't it?
So, and everybody's considered a VIP with us. So,
Yeah.
and we do get assistance too with from local police departments at times, and
All
also
right.
state police will help with the escort. We welcome home. It was a Iwo Jima veteran. They 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 finally identified his remains, and so after 70 years or whatever, and he came back home. So the airport, we brought him from the airport to the funeral home, and he actually had four sisters still living. So they were actually they were able to get some closure to the family that they found their brother. Um, State police participated, Virginia Beach Police, Norfolk Police. So we all had a big escort uh, from the funeral home to the cemetery for this World War II veteran. I think it was Jack Brown was his name.
Wow. And those 90 events that you talked about, is that just here in Hampton Roads per
That's just
year?
in our district. Yeah, so
It,
it's Hampton Roads. Yeah,
Hampton Roads. But you're a statewide organization as well as a national organization. Is that correct?
that's correct. So we have 9 districts in the state, and we go by the VDOT districts. So we here in Hampton Roads, we're District 5, which is Eastern Shore, Williamsburg, Emporia, North Carolina border. So
All right.
of that area, we have about 940. We just updated our records. We have about 940 people are registered in my district. The state, we have about 2,500, 2,800 people who are registered.
Wow. Wow. You know, I've been around here over 30 years and I've never heard of this wonderful thing that you're doing for fallen heroes. I'm just sad that I haven't, and I'm glad we're doing this so that people can know first of all, who those guys are when they go by on the motorcycles and
Yeah.
all of that. And maybe they want to get involved somehow. They could, without a motorcycle, they can be part of your group to honor these fallen heroes. Say, I have a personal question here. Was this organization around during the Vietnam War?
No, so we started in 2005, and
Okay.
it was in response. It started in Kansas in response to a church group that would come and protest military funerals. So the
Uh,
veterans of an American Legion said they weren't going to have that happen, have the families see this group at funerals. So
mm,
they formed a loose group of the American Legion riders or American Legion, and they would show up at funerals with the flags and shield the families from these protesters. So that's how we started, and then it
mm,
grew really quickly because these protesters would try and show up wherever they could. We used to get threat assessments from security at the Navy or from the police departments because they would
mm,
have to register that they're coming to do a protest.
yeah.
Um, and part of the deal was, I think, with them is they would try and register for protests, and the city denied them. Then they would try and sue um, to get money that way or whatever. But
Yeah.
so again, they haven't been around in a long time. So I think they still do something out wherever now. They'll go for movie stars or whatever. They'll try and protest
Yeah.
that. They're trying to get some coverage.
Well, the reason I ask is because I was in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam War, and when I came back, I was living in Arlington, Virginia at the time. I got treated by some people, younger people, in a very mean way. Of course, the war was not a popular war. There had been a lot of protests in the D.C. area and other places. And I think of all the veterans who came back from that awful war, many of them injured or emotionally damaged, PTSD. I'm sure that they would have loved to have had people like you come alongside, uh, especially when they died and or came back in a casket. To Their families would have really loved that. So thank you so much for what you're doing there. Um, so I'm sure you have some stories, and I know I have some footage later that we took earlier when you were down at the Freedom Gun Range getting this big flag signed for the two recent Virginia Beach officers who gave their lives in the line of duty. Um, I'll show that later in the podcast. But what's been the general response of the public to what you do?
So the public has always been very supportive of what we do. It's heartwarming when you're doing an escort and you'll see cars pull over the side of the road and people get out and put their hands over their heart as we're driving by.
Mm,
Um, we were doing a funeral escort or a escort of a young Navy lieutenant, taking him to Dam Neck. So we had state police involved, Virginia Beach Police, big a big procession of motorcycles and cars, and there was a little elementary school there right there on Dam Neck Road before you go into the base. All the children were out in playground with signs. Not a dry eye of the state police.
Oh, I'm
We
sure.
got to
Yeah.
the location on the base.
Yeah.
They were all crying. You see these big state troopers
Oh, yeah.
crying. It was hard
Yeah.
because that just shows that community support again, or whatever. So
Yeah. Wow. Does it
meant a
take
lot to the family. Yeah.
does it take a toll, an emotional toll, on you and your fellow uh, folks in the group Virginia Patriot Guard to be at all
It
those?
does.
Yeah, I would
It
imagine.
does. So when we're always doing funerals, the funerals are very solemn, um, and we get new members. They think they're going to go for a ride, um, but we tell them, you're going to a funeral. So some of them understand what it means to the families, but um, it does take a toll. So I mean, I've been to over 100 funerals, and I'm never
Wow.
comfortable. I'm still never comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But we go, but I go because I know how important it is to the families. They
Hmm.
really appreciate us there. They come up and hug us and shake hands and just you know are thankful that we're there.
Hmm.
Um, it's also sad or heartbreaking when sometimes we're the only family at a funeral for a
Oh,
veteran,
yeah. Exactly.
other than his caregiver. Um, that's happened several times that we're the only ones there. We've
Right.
even accepted the flag as the family when they fold the flag from the casket.
Yeah.
We've accepted the flag as a family because there's no one there for it. So
Mm.
that's just heartbreaking. We've had missions where we put out to the community that this veteran's passed away, has no family, and we've had people show up just from the
Mm.
communities to honor this person and not let them pass on alone. So,
Mm.
but it does take a toll on some of the members, and some people will step away for a while and come back
Yeah.
and try to get re-energized. Um, I always say it's like you can keep uh, you can keep drawing from the well, but at some point you got to stop and let the well fill back up again.
Yeah.
So we have pauses, and then we do the events, the positive events, which are again the welcome home ceremonies,
Oh, yeah.
Gold Star family events. Where we work with the Gary Sinise Foundation Snowball Express, which is a really nice. They send the kids to a trip to Disney and
Oh, how wonderful.
for 1st of December, um, and then now they're doing that for military and also first responders families get to go. So that energizes us. We do a big event at the airport every year. Um,
Mm.
we get character artists, and we get activities for the kids to do at the gate.
Oh,
Um,
that's great.
the kids now, though, because over the years are older now. When they were little, we had the face painters and things like that, but now it's just showing. They're I think the youngest child now is about 12 or 13, because they do go year after year. Um, so we're trying to do age appropriate activities for them as well, and
Mm.
just having someone there for them and the families. They know that we're there for supporting them. So those positive events yeah, get us energized again. Whatever. So,
Wow. Well, so through you, these first responders, police, firemen, and EMS and military, are feeling the support of the larger community in a very dignified and a noble way. And you're even doing these positive events for their families to let them have fun, especially the kids. Well, I think everybody should know about this and get behind you in whatever way they can. I just think it's wonderful, and I'm sorry to say I didn't know about it. So, how can people get involved with what you're doing?
so to be on the email distribution list, you have to go to our national site, which is patriotguardriders.org,
Okay.
and you'll go. There's a join me or a join tab. You click on that, and you'll enter a username and a password, and then you get registered with the National Patriot Guard Riders. Then you go to our state page here in Virginia. Every state has their own
Hmm.
site as well. So then you go to virginiapatriotguard.org, and you do the same exact thing. You click on the join tab, use the same login name and same password, and then you'll get assigned to whatever district you're in. So here in the Hampton Roads area, you'll get assigned to this district. So you can pick if you want to get a notice from Arlington, you can click on different areas you'd like to get notices from. If you want to get a notice from Florida, you can click and say, I want to be notified of events going on in Florida. So you only get mission-specific emails. We don't do junk jokes, anything like that. It's just mission-specific, so it's not all bogged down with emails you get or whatever. And then you can be as active or as passive as you want. We told people too, we on our mission orders, there is a link that goes to the bio of the hero, and you can post a condolence. And so if you want to join but just can't get out, but you want to be passive, you can just post a condolence. And what we do is we take those and print those off and give them to the family at the service. So and sometimes it's hard to post a condolence because you say, well, I don't know the person or whatever. But sometimes we've had people post, they see the name and they go, oh, I served with that guy, and they know the person. So it means something to the family that they have this little sheets of condolences from people, and
exactly.
Just give them a little folder and it has all that information in it.
Yeah. Wow. That's wonderful. So I want to challenge everybody out there who's got a motorcycle. If you're in a motorcycle club, or if you work at a motorcycle shop or something like that, spread the word. And not that you have to have a motorcycle, but this is a great way to use that beautiful bike that you shine and polish every weekend and go riding with your buddies. It's a way to use it to really bring comfort and honor to people who deserve that. And even if you're not, of course, a bike rider, you can still join. You can still go out there and help with all the activities that they do to honor our fallen and beloved first responders. So Wayne, I'm going to probably finish out this podcast with some of that footage we took earlier, but I want to say thank you on behalf of all of the people that you coordinate with and lead here in District 5, I think you said, of the Virginia Patriot Guard. And I hope that you continue to do it, and I'm very grateful. I hope that the people in the community will get behind you even more.
Thank you.
So, is there any parting words you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, say one more thing too, because I missed that. Maybe you can edit it in or whatever.
Sure.
But we do work with Boy Scouts. They'll come to services as well. They'll stand and hold the flag line. So the Boy Scouts, the Civil Air Patrol cadets, have been partnered with us. So they come with us at the air show. They do a flag line.
I did
for
not
our
know
patriotic
that.
cadet. So they'll have like 40 cadets out on the show center, hold the flag line. And they also join us with the NATO parade and our Extortion 17 ride. And we also have the Beachcombers Corvette Club. So you don't have to have a motorcycle; you can have a Corvette if you want to join. And so they
really?
come to our events as well. So they come to the air show and they come to the Extortion 17 ride as well. So our clubs are welcome, and Boy Scouts, Civil Air Patrol cadets, and that's a good organization if you have a child to join. They're really squared away. They're kind of like Boy Scouts but cooler. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I had no idea that kids could get involved at that level. Yep. Boy Scouts, Sea Scouts, Civil Air Patrol, and people with Corvettes. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks again, Wayne, and I look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing you honor our first responders even more in the community. Now I know about your activities, and I'll try to keep the community updated in the ways that I have through a newsletter, etc., about your major activities that you have planned every year. So
you can join as well.
I know.
You get the emails, yeah.
I know, and I might. I'm trying to figure out my life right now. Now that I've signed up for a few extra things, but God bless you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye. All right. How we stop here? Okay.